Dating after 60. 4 reasons to never have a guinea after 60. Not what you think. Have you ever noticed how many men over 60 step into relationships not out of true desire, but out of a quiet fear of ending up alone? It's the silent fear nobody talks about, especially men at this age. The issue, and what's even more terrifying, is they usually don't realize it until they're already trapped in a relationship they don't even know if they truly want it in the first place. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. Today's video, I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why many men after 60 should think carefully before entering a new relationship. This isn't advice to avoid women altogether. It's to help you recognize whether you're seeking real love or just running away from loneliness. If you want more honest advice about love, dating, and marriage after 60, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my upcoming insights. So let's begin with the first reason that I believe every man at this age needs to hear, because it cuts deeper than most are willing to admit. 1. It's not love. It's what? You provide. Many relationships after 60 don't spring from genuine love. They emerge from fear of loneliness and the need for stability. I've witnessed this, not just once but countless times. Good men, hard-working men, who spent their entire lives building something after retirement, and when they meet a new woman, they think it's love. But in reality, what she loves is what you bring to the table: your stability, your peace, your financial security, your structured life. What men often fail to recognize is this: she loves your role, not the real you. You become a provider. She appreciates the life you've built. She values the safety you offer. She likes your house, your routines, the way you solve problems. But does she love you, Vernon, with your private thoughts, your midnight fears, your unfulfilled dreams? That's the question. I once spoke with a friend named Michael. He met a woman named Linda through a local community group. Linda was charming, knew exactly how to make Michael feel needed. Within a few months, Linda had moved into his house. Michael thought it was love, but gradually he started to notice. Linda didn't ask him about his day or how he felt. She asked whether he could help fix her car. She didn't inquire about his feelings on life. She asked whether he could help pay her phone bill. The issue, she didn't want to know who he was. She only wanted to know what he could do for her. Michael told me, "Vernon, I feel like I'm a walking wallet, not a human being." That's the truth many men after 60 won't face. They think having someone beside them is enough. But if that person is only there because of what you provide, not because of who you are, then that's not love. It's a transaction. You feel lonely even with someone next to you. Men become emotional amps, dispensing comfort, solutions, and resources on demand, but never truly seen for their inner world. Issue, you provide the framework. She occupies the space. And when the framework starts to crack, that's when you realize you were never valued for your essence, only for your function. I've seen men pour their hearts out, trying to prove their worth through constant acts of service, never understanding that genuine love doesn't require proof. But when you're with someone who measures your value by your utility, you're not in a relationship, you're in an arrangement. As Eric Fromm once put it, love isn't really about what you give or what you get. It's about who you become together. Real intimacy begins when someone sees you, not what you provide. Have you ever felt valued more for what you provide than for who you truly are? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another man see what he hasn't yet named. But even when the relationship starts gently, you lose something faster than you expect. The issue too, you lose your freedom quietly. Men after 60 treasure their peace, their routines, their personal rhythms. This is the stage of life where you finally built your own pace. You wake up when you want. You read with your quiet morning coffee. You go fishing on Saturdays without interruption. That's freedom. But when you get a girlfriend, everything changes. Your schedule gets adjusted. Your hobbies get modified. Your silent freedom gradually disappears. And the worst part, you don't lose it loudly, you lose it slowly, quietly, until one day you look back and realize, this life isn't mine anymore. Issue: to avoid arguments, you stop. To keep her happy, you abandon yourself. And one day you no longer recognize who you are. I have a sister named Sarah. She once shared with me a story about her friend David, a 62-year-old man, loved hiking, playing guitar, and spending time in his woodworking. He was a deeply peaceful man. But after he met Janet, things began to shift. Janet wanted him to go shopping with her on Saturdays. Janet wanted him to attend dinner parties with her friends on Sunday evenings. Janet didn't like the smell of sawdust, so the woodworking shop became their storage room. Janet thought hiking was too dangerous at his age, so the hiking boots collected dust in the closet. David didn't say no. He thought he was being considerate. He thought he was being a good partner. But Sarah told me, "Vernon, I watched my friend disappear. He stopped being David." The issue: he became Janet's companion, a shadow of the man he used to be. Epictetus once said that the greatest prison is the fear of judgment. True freedom isn't doing more, it's wanting without resistance the path you've chosen. And here's what most men don't understand: they reshape it, gently, affectionately, with good intentions. Let's do this together. Wouldn't it be nice if I feel lonely when and because you're a good man, because you care, because you don't want conflict, you say yes, you adjust, you adapt, and piece by piece you hand over the life you spent decades building. The tragedy is not that you lose your freedom. The tragedy is that you give it away willingly, thinking it's love, when really it's just guilt dressed up as compromise. But losing freedom is only the beginning. Something heavier appears next. 3. You become her emotional therapist. The emotional burden falls squarely on the man's shoulders. Women expect men to comfort them, soothe them, solve their problems, and carry the emotional weight of their past. But men after 60 don't have the energy anymore for heavy emotional labor, not the way they did in their 30s. Issue: you become an emotional container instead of a romantic partner. She talks about the ex who betrayed her, the children who no longer call, the sister who took and never returned. She carries her fears about aging, about her body, about disappearing from the world. And you do what you've always done. You reassure her. It will be okay. But who holds you? This pattern repeats itself across countless relationships. A man enters thinking he's found a companion only to discover he's become an unpaid therapist. Working overtime shifts, the more emotionally available you make yourself, the more her unresolved trauma finds a home in your peace. You can't just walk away from one conversation and reset emotional labor compounds. Today's crisis about her daughter's marriage problems layers onto yesterday's breakdown about her financial anxiety, which sits on top of last week's meltdown about feeling invisible. Before you know it, you're not living your life anymore. The issue: when a man becomes the emotional anchor, he stops being the romantic partner. Romance requires lightness, playfulness, mutual joy. But when you're constantly managing someone else's emotional storms, the relationship becomes a weight, not a refuge. Now, I'm not saying women shouldn't share their feelings. The issue: that's not what I mean at all. Healthy relationships require emotional intimacy, but there's a difference between sharing and dumping. There's a difference between vulnerability and dependency. And many women after 60, what they haven't processed themselves. They want emotional stability without doing the inner work. They want you to fix what's broken inside them. But you can't, and trying will drain you dry. She'll often interpret your exhaustion as emotional distance, your need for space as abandonment, your self-preservation as selfishness. Because in her mind, love means you're always available to catch her when she falls. Even if catching her means you're constantly falling yourself. If you're watching this and recognizing these patterns, share this video with your friends, with your groups, so that other men can be warned before they lose themselves in someone else's emotions. The issue: and when emotional weight piles up, another role begins to take shape. 4. You become a caretaker, not a partner. You easily fall into the role of caretaker instead of equal partner. Health issues, old wounds, family complications, grown children with problems. You gradually take on a life that isn't yours. This is perhaps the most heartbreaking transformation I've witnessed. A man meets a woman, they enjoy each other's company. There's laughter, there's warmth. There's the promise of companionship in the golden years. But slowly, sometimes within months, sometimes within a year, the dynamic shifts. She has chronic pain. You start managing her medications. She has doctor's appointments, issues. She has adult children going through divorces, financial troubles, custody battles. You start offering advice, lending money, mediating conflicts that have nothing to do with you. My sister Evelyn shared with me the story of her neighbor, a man named George. George was 65, retired, financially comfortable. He met a woman named Patricia at a church gathering. Patricia was 63, had health challenges, diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, and 2 adult sons who were, to put it mildly, a mess. One was unemployed and living in her basement. The other was going through his 3rd divorce. George fell for Patricia. He wanted to be her hero. Within a year, George was managing Patricia's medication schedule, cooking special diabetic meals, driving her to physical therapy 3 times a week, lending money to her unemployed son, and counseling her other son through his divorce proceedings. Evelyn told me, "Vernon, I watched George transform from a vibrant, joyful man into someone who looked 10 years older. He had no time for his hobbies, his friends, his own life. He became Patricia's caretaker, not her partner." And here's the painful truth. Patricia didn't see it as a problem. The issue, she thought George's constant sacrifice meant he cared deeply. She didn't realize she was consuming him. That's what happens when you become a caretaker. The relationship stops being about mutual growth, shared joy, and equal partnership. It becomes about need and dependency. And both of you mistake this toxic cycle for love. If this resonates with you, save this video and come back to it whenever you need a reminder of what genuine partnership should look like, because you deserve reciprocity, not just responsibility. By now, you understand that relationships after 60 can easily become traps disguised as companionship. You enter thinking you're escaping loneliness, but you end up losing yourself. A relationship after 60 can be beautiful, but only if it's built on genuine love, not fear. A girlfriend after 60 can easily cost you your peace, your identity, and your emotional stability if you're not aware of these patterns. The real question after 60 isn't about having a girlfriend. It's knowing the difference between desire and dependence, love and fear. The issue, because if you don't, you'll give away your freedom, your peace, and your final years to someone who values what you provide, not who you are. What lessons have you learned about relationships after 60? What wisdom would you share with other men navigating this stage of life? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what another man needs to hear today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and explore more thoughtful conversations and practical advice about relationships, love, and dating after 60. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.